What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday, I guess, and welcome to the Dynasty War Zone, the People's Dynasty Podcast. And here they all are, some of our best patrons, doing something new over at Patreon.com/Dynasty Warzone. We are doing live drafts on YouTube for you, the listener, and people can see this live and in person. I will try to run down everyone in the chat with me. You're a little bitty thumbnail in the corner of a screen. Our live draft is going to start in 1 minute, but you know Jerry. You have AKA Dirty Randy. I call him the Good Randy. We have Bob, AKA Ace. We have Andrew, all the way from the land down under. We have Clay, Mr. 101 himself. We have David, D. Slom. We have Nick, who is listed as Nick. Rakim, listed as himself. And then we just dropped on. I can't get him in the stream yet, but as soon as I throw Jerry out, Jerry, pull the ripcord.
You want me to pull the ripcord?
Bye-bye.
Later, gentlemen.
Hey, don't stay backstage, you jabroni.
I am not a noob. I know how to do this. Come on now.
That's not even true.
Just cut the cord, damn it. That's why we can't have nice.
I'm the bouncer of this club. I just bounced him right out of here. Adding from Iceland. What's up, man? You're on mute. You're pulling a Jerry. The first Jerry of the night did not go to.
No, and I'm also from Australia.
Oh, you're from Australia. Who is from Iceland?
No one in this group. Me and Campy representing Oz.
Okay. Well, you guys know what big fans of Australia I am. Oh, it's oh my gosh, it's Stefan. Stefan's from Australia. So here we're gonna go. We're gonna open the draft room. If you're watching live on YouTube or Twitter, you will realize in person what a shit show this is. But I think this is fun. We've not done this before. And Clay, where are you, buddy?
I'm right here. Am I off mute or am I pulling a Jerry? We good?
Yeah, you are off mute. You are not, in fact, pulling a Jerry, which is thumbs up.
All right, rock and roll.
You are not pulling it. I clicked start draft, and there we go. So there you go. You notice you have 12 hours to make this pick. Oh, you're not going to use all of those. Now this is Superflex, 1.75 tight end premium, and I don't know if you guys noticed the scoring, but QBs that throw a pick six are docked 10 points. I'm sorry, 6 points. So you throw a pick six, you go full Matt Schaub, it will cost you. Now, the odds of that. Now, a regular interception is just worth 2 points. It's one of those things that Scott Fish puts in his tournament. So I thought it'd be fun. We're also going to do a third round reversal, and we're going to see how far we can go. But there will be, at any time, if any of these people want to do a trade, they'll just wave at me or they'll DM Jerry in the chat. We'll pause the draft and give them some time to jump on. All right. So, Clay, take the mic, man. What are you thinking with this first pick?
You know, it was really tough when I got the Derby first selection. It's like, man, do I go 1-on-1? Yes, right. That's what you do. You do the safe thing in a super flex. I still haven't gotten the offers. I'm not really expecting any offers. I didn't have to do too much preparation to, I guess, give you a background on who I'm going to pick here. But Patrick Mahomes is a pretty easy selection, right? It's kind of the default. I tried to just pull up a couple things to be able to speak to on him. One thing that was funny was you look at Dynasty Trade Calculator and they have those charts showing the ADP, rise and fall over the past 12 and 24 months. That's a flat line for Mahomes. He's always dead at the top. And then his contract is actually pretty hilarious. He could be cut at a dead cap of only $5 million in 2025. So who knows? Maybe I'll try to get out on him before that, right? In case he hits the streets, which obviously is never happening. But yeah, it's pretty simple here. I mean, there's not many players in Dynasty that have that value insulation. He would have to get really injured or just be brutally bad to ever lose value. So even if your team ends up kind of hitting the fan after a year or two. But if you have Mahomes on your team, you know, you could always sell him for a haul if you decide to blow it up. So any trades, anybody wanna throw 19 first and 4 first
And a
rounders
soul.
at me, right?
And one
And the
soul.
soul.
19 first and one
one.
soul.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I think Thanos paid more for that stone than paid less for that stone than you would pay to get Patrick Mahomes. So are you pulling the trigger?
I think I'm gonna pull the trigger. Let's consummate. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. Boom. We got Patrick Mahomes. All right, I'm going to have you go backstage. I'm going to bring Jerry back in, and I will take care of that. Now, a.k.a. Dirty Randy, you are on the clock. This is where it gets interesting because you get to make that first move outside of Patrick Mahomes. That's the bunny. That's the layup. That's the freebie. Now, if you're not looking at this guy's war room, if you cannot see his war room on Twitter, I am scared. I'm not scared of Jerry. I'm kind of scared of Bob. A little bit scared of everybody. But this setup is awesome. Randy, welcome to the show. And I believe you were the one who created an iTunes account just to give us a review.
Yeah, you did. You made me go over to the dark side. I'm not a Apple fan, but it's the only way to really promote the podcast. So I thought it was worth it. You guys are well deserving of it. So easy choice.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, this next choice can't be too easy. Are you thinking quarterback? Have you had any offers on the two?
I haven't really done. I've done Dynasty for about 3 years now. This is my first real Superflex startup. I did a best ball, a little bit different, but I'm definitely thinking quarterback. I did consider McCaffrey, but I want to get my first share of Josh Allen. I don't have him in any other leagues. I've got Murray, I've got Dak in about 3 different leagues. I don't have any Mahomes, so that would have been nice, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to go with Allen. I think he's a safe choice. They didn't bring any running back in to challenge, so he is, to me, the de facto goal line back. It's a high-flying Air Express offense, so I think it's a pretty easy choice, really, for me at this point.
Well, hit that button and we'll talk about it. Anybody. Well, I tell you what, we'll give everybody else a chance to respond to any previous pick when they're up. You can maximize your minutes. And now here it is, Jerry. This is the moment everybody's been waiting for. This is the first patron league, by the way, that Jerry and I have co-owned. I think I'm in 5 of the others. You're probably in an equal amount, maybe 6, whatever that number actually is. But this is the first one we've co-owned. So what are your thoughts so I can tell you how wrong you are?
Right. Well, you were definitely going to go with Josh Allen there, so this puts us in a little bit of a pickle.
That is not true. Do you know who I'm thinking? How well? This is the newlywed game. How well do you know your partner?
Okay. All right. So you're definitely not going to say Kyler. You're definitely not going to say Lamar. Trevor Lawrence is too early. Who would you? Do you think Justin Herbert? Is that who you're thinking?
Believe it or not, I am thinking Dak.
Okay, because Dak was easily my choice if we were going to go there.
Really? Damn it,
Yeah.
Jerry! You're killing off the show. You could have feigned interest in like Lamar, Trevor Lawrence.
I am pretty certain that most people would take Josh Allen 102. I just love Dak. I love their situation, so I would take him. Dak is my pick if you're going to listen to my vote at all, because you have control of the picks and control of this stream and control of the fact that I may not even be in here. So I would pick Dak. That's my man.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Dak. I have no interest in trading back. Not out of the top 8. My thoughts on quarterbacks in a super flex are well established. I want to get one of the big 8 to 10. I'm going to give Nick a few minutes to hit the group chat to see about any potential trades, anything anybody's interested in doing while we do that. Now, I will say Josh Allen would have been my 2. I don't want to table talk too much, but I think this is fairly chalk. I'm actually surprised that you went Dak, but for me, given his age, the contract, and the fact that he has an owner that's willing to do anything for offense. Burn another first rounder with CeeDee Lamb when you need defense, let's do it. Pay Zeke a bunch of money to keep him on the field, let's do it. He's all about offense, he's all about the show, and I'm all about it too. So, Jerry, you have anything you want to add, or we want to hog up more of Nick's 5 minutes?
No. Let this man take it away. He's going to make a better pick than we were ever going to make anyway.
All right, we'll get Nick
right.
in here. So what's up, man?
Not much.
No, I'm going to interview you a little bit. First of all, any action on any of your picks so far?
Right now, haven't had any action on my picks. Haven't been actively shopping them. I picked this spot because I wanted one of the top 4 quarterbacks. So I think it would, take a pretty decent offer for me to move back.
Okay, let's talk about your top 4 quarterbacks. I got to assume Allen and Mahomes were that? Was Dak one of your top 4?
Dak was, yes. So
Okay.
I was hoping he would fall to me, but no such luck.
Okay, so nothing too surprising here. What are you thinking at the 104 if you're going to make this pick?
Yeah, so right now I'm looking at taking Kyler. 23 years old, still pretty young. Coming into his 3rd year in the league. He got that rushing upside. Starting to add some more weapons around him. I just think that, he's the guy in Arizona.
Well, I do not disagree with you. My concerns about him are small. I think this is a make or break year for Cliff Kingsbury, for sure. If they don't get something going, the problem is, and I don't feel like this is a bold statement, is that Cliff Kingsbury is the worst head coach in that division. So he's not better than Sean McVay. He's not better than Pete Carroll. Not better than the miracle worker Kyle Shanahan. It just feels like Arizona is going to be an interesting fantasy team. I just think my concern with Kyler is that he'll have a new offensive coordinator next year, which couldn't be a bad thing. He was great with a guy that I think is mediocre. So I'm going to move this to Mike. I don't think Mike is in. Jerry, can you touch base with Mike and see if he's trying to get in the chat?
No, he is currently trying to pull a brisket off the smoker because he is living such a better life than all of us.
He is doing it way better than us.
I just added him and let him know. He said he was still in the league, so I would assume he picks pretty quick.
Yeah. So you want me to go ahead and make the pick, or should we wait for Mike?
Well, yeah, Nick, you can go ahead and make the pick, and then we can just chat amongst ourselves until he gets that pick actually in the hopper. He just made a comment, Jerry. So I'm supposed to be just running the show and producing, and I can't even trust Jerry to do the one job I gave Jerry.
I'm talking to him, man. It is handled. Just he will pick when he is on the clock. See, this is one day I'm going to go on a violent rampage, and you're going to know exactly why. He said he's going to give us a couple minute for offers. So if you are feeling froggy.
Yeah. Is anyone interested?
Anyone? Yeah.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Let's talk about it. If you're in Mike's spot, I am personally the guy that always trades back, right? Like I have talked about it ad nauseum. Is there anyone else that likes to do that, or am I just a psychopath?
I'm usually in favor of trading back myself.
See, how are you willing to lose the year? That's the other question.
I don't want to go that far.
See, like this.
I would.
See, my man. See, there we go. See, like it just seems too easy for me because everybody always tries to win this year, right? Like this is the startup, so all the values are based on whatever year you're drafting it in. So everybody that's drafting is always trying to go gung ho. I just like to sneak through the back and just try and mess you guys up the next year. So that's always my go-to. Now I can't do that not only because I'm with Randy, but because he's definitely not about that. Randy doesn't rebuild. If you've ever played in the league with the man, he just doesn't. But
it's
also
not
the 103 spot is a tough spot to do it into, so I couldn't really do it this year either.
No, I would agree with that. But the reason why I first of all, I've traded back a ton, but where I tend to do well is those middle rounds where I get value of guys that have upside. And, if you bank 4, 5, 6 guys that have a tremendous upside and they actually produce this year, then it usually puts you in the money. And then you can wind up flipping some of those guys. So he made a selection. And I think someone's got a statically set of headphones. So we'll have everybody check their headphones real quick. All right. He took Justin Herbert. Now, we have Andrew on the clock. He is smiling ear to ear. Andrew is Crocodile Campy on Twitter. He has re-envisioned himself as the next Paul Hogan. But Andrew, man, so 5 quarterbacks in a row. What are you thinking here at 6? You chose this spot.
Yeah, well, I kind of, after the Scott Fish Bowl, where I was sort of in the middle for that, and I was, thinking of that third round reversal, it's kind of a good spot because you don't really get affected by the third round reversal. So that's kind of my theory there. But obviously on this one, I've got a co-owner. So we're busily talking behind the scenes to try and figure out our plan. So from our point of view, this is probably the worst start to a draft I could hope for. But
well, hold on, real quick, while you guys trade some messages, I do want to introduce your co-owner. Obviously not in the chat. We're a little full right now, but your co-owner is Stacy, and he was one of our newest, like literally joined within the last week. And this was the kindness of Andrew. He was like, I'd love to have a co-owner. So you're out here co-owning, and how are the conversations with Stacy going?
It's been so much fun because I've literally never been a co-owner in my life. So it's like, it's so good to just have someone else to sort of throw ideas back and forth and say, hey, what happens here? What, if this happens, what do we do kind of thing. So I think Stacey was like straight on to all of the different mock drafts straight away. Like, here's 6 different mock drafts I've tried. What do we do if this scenario happens? And what do we do if this scenario happens? So it's I've loved it so far. So so far we've got a combined strategy, so we're feeling good. We've got some consistency in our organization, so that's a good start. So I think we're ready to make the pick. We've discussed it. We've got it all lined up.
If you're ready, we're ready. You make your pick, and then let's talk about it for a couple of minutes before we go to Thomas and his co-owner, another great sharer of their spot.
There you go. Lamar it is.
Lamar it is. By the way, if you're following along on YouTube, if you look at everybody's name next to their team name, it tells you their bye. And week 7 and week 12 are going to suck because it looks like Kansas City and Arizona are on bye in 12. Dallas, Buffalo, and the Chargers are on bye in week 7. And then you have Lamar. So what was the consensus thought on Lamar?
It wasn't a consensus thought on Lamar. It was a consensus thought on a quarterback. And we were probably, if Dak got to 6, it would have been Dak. But, whoever's in number 3 screwed us on that one. So we're not going to talk about Dak too much.
Well, I'm not sorry one bit. I pulled Jerry out of the chat because, I wanted to get Clay back in here. Now, Clay, you have made the first pick and saw 5 quarterbacks go since then. Would there be a quarterback that what would one of us have to add to Allen, Prescott, Murray, Herbert, Jackson to get you to come off of Patrick Mahomes? Now, I'm not saying you're going to do it. I'm not playing Monty Hall or who's the new guy, Wayne Brady. Let's make a deal. We can. But what would it take for you, and you're on mute before you pull it, Jerry, is what would it take for you to move Patrick Mahomes for one of these guys that have already moved?
I mean, it's tough, right? Especially during I don't think it's possible to do during the draft. I mean, someone please chime in if you saw an epic 101 trade in the past. But if we end this draft right now, and let's say I have Mahomes, and I want Dak, what is he really worth versus Dak? How much more? Is it like a 2022 second, 2022 first, 23 first? Is it 3 firsts on top of Dak to get Mahomes? I wouldn't pay it. I wouldn't pay it, and I wouldn't expect somebody to pay what it would cost to get Mahomes, if that makes any sense.
That is very well said.
Some bigger trades. Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey, let's get to our other Australian. He is down there in the lower corner of the screen. Actually, when you move people around, so you've moved up. So you have a co-owner as well. You want to tell the story? Actually, let me preface it. So I thought I had everybody in 12 that I had agreed to put 12 in. And somewhere along the way, I had missed Daniel, who's in at number 10. And Thomas and Fell here, and pronounce your name for me because I don't want to screw it up.
So it's Falaba.
Falaba. So you have like a nickname?
No, Falaba's, even my brothers called me Falaba. I'm the oldest, so I'm the one who wore the name.
I love it. So Falaba was kind enough. You're one of 5 brothers, that's right?
That's correct.
And he said he wasn't a very good sharer. But what he did is he jumped in with Thomas Mountain. That's your co-owner, and you bailed me out of jail. So Falaba, I owe you a beer. When I come to Aussie, and I'm coming to Australia, I'm going to hang out with you and G and AJ and Andrew and all of our Australian brothers and sisters. I got to buy you a beer. Now, what's good beer in Australia? And don't say Foster's. I know better. I've been schooled.
No, there's a reason why Foster's is found all over the world, because we don't want it.
Well put.
So, obviously, craft beer has come a long way in, say, the last 10 years, and it's grabbing traction here as well. And I think in pretty much every capital city, you'll find anywhere between 15 and 20 breweries, and they'll all have top beer, they'll have barbecue, and that's why we need to exercise a lot so we can indulge.
Hey, I absolutely love that, and I am going to indulge. G does not think they'll let us scrubby Americans into your country until 2023, but luckily we'll have time between now and then in our group chat. So you and Thomas are up at the 1-7. What are your thoughts? Are you going to step away from QB? You keeping QB going? What's been the strategy behind the scenes?
So Thomas and I decided to jump in with each other. We've done 3 or 4 startups this off season, and we constantly snipe each other. Very, very similar ways that we construct our teams. So we thought we'd have a bit of fun and jump in. We were going through the list and watching all the names come off, and Thomas doesn't have any Trevor Lawrence shares. So we're feeling we may have to change that.
I have no problem with that. Jerry made me pay dearly. I'm glad he's booted out of the chat, but he made me pay dearly for my first Trevor Lawrence share. Expecting big things, I take it.
Oh, it's more, rather than the trading back style of productive struggle, it's build a team for the future. I know you can't win anything with kids, but it's more getting pieces. We may not compete this year, but we hope to be in and around it in the next couple of seasons.
Well, that's a darn good pick. All right, I am going to go to David. David has been waiting patiently. I'm going to go to you, man. So you, I got to wait for Thomas and Falaber to make the pick. But
I've just messaged him to do the pick because he's now the owner of the team.
He's the driver.
I can't do it.
I think, I don't know if I can do it for you. If I need to, I will. But we'll give him a minute. So David, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot. You guys made my decision easy. So I ran probably 10, 15 mocks today. Nowhere close to what actually happened. But yeah, does anybody want to trade up? Or anybody interested here?
Well, we'll give it a few minutes. What are your thoughts of the 6? Were any of the 6 that have obviously without Mahomes, were you hoping any of these guys fell to you? Were you hoping for, I guess 7, we're waiting on Thomas to pick. If I need to make the pick, I certainly can.
Yeah, so pretty much in 90% of the mocks, Dak fell to me. So that obviously didn't happen. and I've been over here sweating bullets to figure out what the previous teammates were going to do here. And yeah, because honestly, I'm more of a guy who plays based on previous production. So it would have been a hard stretch for me to take Trevor Lawrence. But having said that, you guys probably know where I'm leaning. But does anybody want to come up and snipe me? Yes? No?
Well, that's the whole thing. I think everybody. This is the one thing about being in patron leagues where we all know each other. We talk the same strategy all the time. It does make the deals, even in our patron leagues. There are some deals, but there aren't always a ton of deals. So we'll give it a minute. I will say this. I think Trevor Lawrence has a good enough year that Thomas and Flauber can compete this year. I know I'm a Colts fan. It's a bad defense. Defense is bad. You have to put up points. And I traded for him. I think Jerry made me pay, Carson Wentz and Najee Harris, and I got Trevor Lawrence in a third because I always get a third. Now let me ask you, David. I'll start with you, and then I'll pass it around the horn while we give you a minute to see if any trade offers come in. What do you think about my trade of Najee and Wentz for Trevor Lawrence?
I probably wouldn't have made that, but also let me preface this by saying this is my first ever Superflex league. So I'm not too familiar with QB values outside of Patreon chat. That's kind of where I learned most of my knowledge on this. So, but I come from a one QB background, so Najee is definitely where I would head.
That's fair. Let me go back to Flauber. Flauber, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Now, if let's say hypothetically I had a Carson Wentz and a Najee Harris on this team, would that be enough? Now, I know you can't speak for Thomas, and this is a theoretical deal anyway, but would that be enough to entice you to move Trevor Lawrence?
I think it also depends on team makeup, whether a bit of Harris adds to the depth. You'd hope in a startup you'd get your pieces and you're happy, but there's no such thing as everyone's for sale at the right price. So if I felt that could add to the team, yeah, I would go with something like that. I'm pretty high on Wentz. I'm not homer high, but I think he's going to have a great season, and I think he could carry a team.
Well, Jerry is back in the chat. I'm so excited to have him in. Jerry, you want to speak on that trade?
I mean, it hurt my soul, if you'd like me to be honest with you, because I love Trevor Lawrence, and I am a man who likes to build around quarterbacks, and in general, I sort of hate running backs. I know you need them. They're very short-term, high-upside assets, but they're not what you build a foundation on. And that team it's okay. It's not my best team, but it is sort of my biggest league. Randy, the problem is I didn't want to trade him to Randy. Because I have to do a podcast with him every week, and he will remind me every single week if I lose that trade. And I am more humble, so if I win that trade, I won't talk to him because I'll want to trade him later. Randy doesn't have a problem with that. He likes making fun of millennials. He likes sticking our nose in the dirt. That's what he does. Also, he has Justin Herbert to pair with Trevor Lawrence. So if Trevor Lawrence hits and he has
the
Justin
Wonder
Herbert,
Twins.
Yeah, he's just going to, piss on the league for the next 6-7 years. And that's even worse for me. So I thought it was fine value. But I'm, to use our word, I am more trepidatious about it. And I have more anxiety about it than he does.
Yeah, I feel better about it because I have Carson Wentz everywhere. I'm a Colts fan, but I was a Carson Wentz fan before he was wearing, I guess it's Colts blue? Speed blue. That's what they call it. I know you guys call yours Honolulu blue. And, all right, David, what are you thinking? We're down to about a minute left in your 5.
Yeah, I'm ready to pick if you guys are.
You fire away and tell us what's up with your guy.
Cool. We'll take the first running back off the board, Christian Caffrey. Let's live dangerously in the Superflex League.
Well, it's not that I think that you're living dangerously. It's just that you're going to attack quarterback from a different strategy. This is where Christian McCaffrey's been going in a lot of my Superflex 2 QB startups. So I think this would be a fair ADP for him. So I think he did fine. How many more years do you think you get out of Christian McCaffrey?
Hoping for 3, but I doubt I'll keep him that long. I tend to move running backs quickly, so we'll see.
Well,
Short-term asset,
well,
3 years max. Someone can have him. I'll take offers whenever.
Well, I think you'll get them come around the playoffs. We'll be doing playoffs on week 15 through 17, and I guarantee you, people contending to win championships do really weird things. You picking already? You want me to make the pick for you?
Oh, that's my fault. I'll do it.
You're good, buddy. Now, this next GM is not in the chat with us. His name is Bob, but I know he is in the sleeper league. I can see the little green circle next to his football helmet. And Bob's not in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob, You are in the chat. Bob, you're right there. Ace, see, this is the problem. Ace 23. I told everybody before the draft started, I don't know everyone's street name. And so Bob is on the clock. And Jerry, while I'm talking to Bob, can you DM Daniel and make sure he's ready to pick?
Yeah,
all right,
well,
Bob.
I started talking while I was muted, so classic maneuver, but yes, I got it. Continue.
All right, so Bob, go ahead.
Hey guys, what's up? So I was really hoping Trevor Lawrence fell to me here. Sort of kicking myself. I had the choice in the Derby to take the 1-3. Obviously, I think you guys got the last pick. I should have taken that instead of 9. I feel like every super flex league this year I've had 9, 10, 11, or 12 and not got any quarterbacks. Last year, I feel like quarterbacks fell to there so you could double up easy at the end of every round. This year, everybody knows too much, especially in Patreon. So obviously, I think most people would take a running back here just for position scarcity. But I'm kind of with Jerry. I just hate taking running backs. I hate it. I would take Christian McCaffrey if he fell to me, but I've got 8,000 Dalvin Cook shares, and I feel like he's like 1 to 2 years away from being done. Saquon coming off of injury, who knows? So I'm going to just like throw a complete curveball here and do something I never would do and take Justin Jefferson.
Oh my! Now I love the Now let me ask you a question. This is by no means a bad. Jerry, thank you for getting Daniel. I see Daniel's in the sleeper draft. Now Bob is going Justin Jefferson. Now Jerry, you are the biggest, I guess, second biggest Justin Jefferson fan that I know. What do you think about Justin Jefferson here at 109?
It's fine. I don't see an issue with it. What did he do? 1,400 yards? He's what? 22 years old? 23 years old?
14 and 14. Yes, sir.
Oh, last time I checked, that's a mother effer that will win you leagues for a long time. He's in a position group that is known for not getting injured and having long careers, which is exactly why we took quarterbacks for the first, whatever it was, 7 picks. The next stable position group is Justin Jefferson. Or his wide receiver, and Justin Jefferson for me is at the top of the board, so I'm all about it. Like, I'm not mad at taking Christian McCaffrey either, because if we're going to talk about someone with trade value come about week 11, I don't think you can get better than Christian McCaffrey, because he is going to be dropping bombs every single week. So that's an easy flip should you need it, or you ride him, take the ship, taste the tears of everybody in this group, and win the championship. Honestly, I haven't seen a problem with any pick yet. I think
that's what I'm
good. And I am salty because I was sort of hoping that everyone would hate Justin Jefferson, and I could text Randy while you guys didn't know that we could trade up and get him. But I guess
my bad, Jerry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a good pick.
Hey, everything's negotiable, and here's the thing: in a super flex, I I like the young wide receivers. If I can't get the quarterback that I want, I am going with that young wide receiver. And I know DLF has him as their wide receiver. I think 2 or 3. He is in there. But what I'm going to do is I am going to, when we get done, I'm going to go around the horn and let everyone share their thoughts on the draft and anything they would want to add. Maybe you want to be in someone's DMs. We're going to do 3 more picks. We have Daniel on the clock. We'll give him about 3 more minutes. But you know what? Let's just go potluck. Randy, Dirty Randy. I like that name. Dirty Randy, what are your thoughts on this draft so far?
I was surprised to see 7 straight quarterbacks go. I thought McCaffrey would go a little bit higher, maybe around 1.5. And the Jefferson pick kept catch me off guard. I thought he'd be early second. So credit to Ace for jumping out there and breaking the cherry on the wide receivers.
Yeah, I thought that was a good pick.
Yeah, I think it's solid value. You can't argue it.
I mean, he's 22. I mean, if you think about it, if he has even a Devontae Adams longevity, you just got a 7-year asset. And he plays in a dome.
Because he's a Viking and I'm a Lions fan, so
yeah.
Me, but it does.
Well, maybe him and Jeffrey Okudah can have some battles. Now, I know he's getting ready to pick here in a couple, but I'm going to bring up Rakeem. Rakeem, you've been awful quiet, and that's what happens when you're on the turn. You always have to wait. But without having to give anything away, are there a couple of players you're sweating being 3 out?
Yeah, definitely. There's there goes one of them. Fantastic.
All right. All right.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you the mic for a few minutes. This next gentleman is a very good friend of not only the show, but of Jerry and mine all together. His name is Matt Dent. We call him Diddy. Just a wonderful Dynasty gamer. And he's not a content producer or anything like that, but just a guy who is super passionate about Dynasty. So I'm glad he's in the league. But so there was one guy. So I guess you can kind of table talk. I don't see him in the YouTube live audience. So who are you hoping he doesn't take here?
Oh boy, that's a tough one because a couple of the players that I anticipated sliding all the way down here, like from doing mock drafts, Trevor Lawrence would typically slide this late, and Jonathan Taylor, I was really hoping to be able to land him here. But at this point, there's a couple picks I can definitely make at the turn here. So I'm not too concerned about him taking any of my top choices at this time.
Well, I tell you what, I'll let you kick off the second round. Matt did say he is going to be able to make this pick, and that's really it. Oh, he went Russell Wilson. He is going to win. So there you go. You have 2 picks. We'll let you make both of them, and then we'll chat it up as we wrap it up.
Okay.
No, this is you, man. This is the floor is yours. You can offer some
fantastic.
trades. You. By the way, you might remember Rakeem. He did a fantasy fixer upper with me about a month ago, 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was about that.
All right. So there you go. Floor is yours, sir.
Absolutely. So this is quite possibly the worst case scenario I could have envisioned. Pretty much all of my top targets have been taken at this point. I was hoping that Russell Wilson would have fell to me here. Very good value pick at this point. Jonathan Taylor was another one of the players that I was hoping was going to slide here. So at this time, and I haven't really pulled this off before, I would be willing to entertain offers to trade up to land this pick if anyone is interested in doing that.
Well, we'll give you a minute. We won't give away any spoilers. Jerry's wanting to try to swing for 2 rounds. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can get Matt back in the chat while. He's back. So we're gonna try to go for 2. Let's go around the horn again. Fellower, you're back on the mic, my man. Oh crap! I just got to add you to the stream though. Damn it! Sorry about that. You're back.
That's all right. I've just been having a little chat with Thomas. his little feedback on the draft so far was just a little surprise with the Jefferson pick. Was maybe had some dreams of his own there, but no, everything's pretty standard for the amount of startups that we've done. Everything looks good, and yeah, looking forward to what should be a good comp.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna swing for two. We'll have to make the don't want to like prohibit trading, but this is a made for TV production. All right.
Can I ask Jerry a question?
Sure. Campy, get in there.
So, like, if you're trading down in this first round, you've really got to get another pick in this first round back, don't you? Like, there's no scenario where you go, okay, I'm going to get 4 future first rounders to trade out. It's kind of got to be out. You're moving down, aren't you? Really, you're not trading out.
So where are you set from my spot, like the third? If I'm picking in the third,
Anywhere in this first round, really. I mean, I guess if you're at the end of the first round, you can move down into the second. But I'm just thinking, yeah, like, so from your spot, you're not doing it for future picks, are you?
I am. I am actually. So I what I always want to do is I always want to make sure that I have an equal amount of picks within the first 10 rounds. So that way, by the time we get to the end of the 10th round, I have 10 players in that section. So that way I at least have a solid foundation. And then I want to accumulate first because they don't get hand jobs. They don't kick people in casinos. They don't drunk drive. They don't hit, their significant others. They don't do any of that. They only accrue value. So it depends which round you're in. So if I were to trade out of that pick, I would probably want to move. I mean, the earlier the better, of course. But even if it was like Nick's pick in the second or Mike's pick in the second, like 209, 208, grab a first, I would have probably done that in a heartbeat for the most part. Like, I know I'm probably losing a little bit of value on Dynasty Trade Calculator, but I'm still going to have 2 second-round picks instead of the first-round pick, and I have an additional first. And there's no guarantee that first that he's trading me after he's only made 1 pick or 2 picks, he's going to have a great team. So it's just another asset that is always gaining value. So I do like to do that often. Now, you can't just drop around, later on in the draft. Like I can't offer a 5th-round pick and I trade back to the 6th and get a first. Person's going to give me the middle finger. They're going to tell me to move along. So sometimes you got to drop more than that. Sometimes you got to throw a second back. Sometimes, you have to find the person. Some people don't want to do that either. Like Randy, like whenever I do a startup draft with Randy, for the most part, I use him because I have a lot of drafts with Randy. I usually don't mess with it. If Randy wants to come up, which he will sometimes, he knows how to do it. He knows how to manipulate me for everything that I'm worth. So that's sort of my thing. So I would drop. 103 is a tough spot for it. Usually, if I'm in Raheem's spot, oh my God, like that's my spot. Like I'm going to trade you that 112 so fast. I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm going to give you the caveat that you can have the earlier of my picks and just give me one of your later picks. That's always sort of my move.
Now, Rakim, you're back up. I'm gonna call you Ravi. That's your handle.
Yeah.
Jump in here, man. What are your thoughts? You get any action? You gonna make some picks?
Yeah, so I'm actually in a discussion right now. I think there's a possibility that this pick can be moved. So hoping that I can.
Well, then we're gonna hold this to 1 round. But what we are gonna do is I'll give you a few more minutes to work your DMs while I filibuster. We do have 3 of our own patrons that are going to be, doing some content creating of their own. And their names are Jesse, Chad, and Mike. And what they've been doing, and Andrew's been helping out with these a little bit too. They have been doing these hysterical recaps of each patron league. So maybe when those guys get done recapping patron 12, we will share that with the listening audience that wants to come back around. So what I'm going to do this, and this is all live, there is no net. I'm going to go around the horn and reverse wrap it up. I'm going to go around to everybody that's here, anything you want to add, and anything you want to talk about on the way out. So I'm just going to go in draft order. Jerry, you're out for a minute. Adding Clay back in. All right, Clay. We're giving Robbie a few minutes to work his deal. And anything that you see in the draft or anything that you want to share before I boot you out?
No. I mean, it looks like it went pretty chalk. It just shows how any pick in the first round of a super flex, especially when you're talking like top 8, being able to get Lamar Jackson at, was it 107 is where he fell here. I think he's going to be QB1 this year. I mean, I did pick Patrick Mahomes, but just shows how deep and awesome the QB position is in this league. And then Justin Jefferson, it's like, whoa, okay, he's going that high already. With that being said, he is a stud, right? He's only 21 years old, maybe 22 by the time the season starts. But no, looks good, fairly chalk, and this will be an exciting league. Appreciate you having me.
Man, I appreciate you jumping on, and we'll catch you around the Patreon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
See you. All right, now I am going to add Jerry, and then I'm going to go back to the man with the best name. I did it again. I removed him. I'm going to have to add him back. All right, Randy, you're back in the chat, man. What do you want us to know? What are you going to be looking to do? Any strategy that you want to give away?
I don't know if I necessarily have anything unique that's going to be different from anybody else. I messaged Rakeem to see if he was interested in moving back to 211. I'm waiting to see what he has to say. So I'm possibly looking to trade up here.
All right. Well, I'm going to have you stick around then, because if the deal gets worked out and you're one of the 2 participants, I want some details. All right. So I'm going to mute you, Jerry. I got nothing for you. Nothing happening, son of a raggedy rat soup eating. Nick, what you got for us, man? Great pick, Kyler Murray. I know a lot of services have him as high as 102. Anything you want to add to the draft before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I just couldn't pass on the value of Kyler there. This is the earliest I've seen Trevor Lawrence go in a startup. Definitely high upside, but there's always that risk this first season. Might take a while.
Hey, Jerry took him at 107. In the startup that I traded for him, Jerry took the 101, which ended up being Trevor Lawrence. So, Jerry, talk to Nick about taking him at the 107.
I mean, he's not wrong. It is a little risky. I mean, how do we know that he doesn't come in and is Sam Darnold? Like, I mean, the common narrative is that he's
why you got to do Sam like that?
And I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, everybody thinks he's Andrew Luck or he's Deshaun Watson or he's some elite prospect. Honestly, we have no idea, right? Like, we're all just hoping and we're praying, because if we have tons of Trevor Lawrence shares, which I do, even though I traded him to you, I still have a ton. But that's the thing. Never play this game like it's a game of absolutes, because that is when it will spit in your face. Anything can happen in this game. Any outcome is possible. Sometimes a team takes a running back in the first round. They never give him a go. Hi, Rashad Penny. How you doing, buddy? Anything can happen. So I get it. It is risky. The problem is he's a young quarterback. He's in what I think is going to be very conducive for him offensively. And if he does hit, he's the cheapest he's going to be at 107. So don't hate it. I'm cool with everything that has been done. I'm going to talk about Diddy and Russell Wilson, though. That was a little suspect. I think I would have gone Joey Burrow if I was going to go with a quarterback right there.
Agreed.
But he does have the injury, and Russell Wilson does he lets it hang. And, I mean, he is a league winner. So, I mean, I get it if he's trying to pull the trigger. And we'll see what he does at 202.
Well, I will say this for Russ. I know a lot of people are excited about him having a new offensive coordinator, but the guy they got was from the Rams, and the Rams are one of the, by percentage of plays called, or one of the run-heavier teams in the NFL. I know they pass a lot, or it looks like they do, but it'll be interesting to see Russ cook. All right, you stole all of Nick's time. Nick, what else you got for us, man?
Oh, no, that's okay. I think that's it. Excited to play in this league with you guys. My first Patreon. So I might not be able to get away with some of my normal trades, but excited to play in a competitive league.
Well, man, we're excited to have you. Looking forward to co-owning with Jerry. And if you get good trades that you want to accept, they're from Jerry. If you get bad trades that seem one-sided toward our side, they're probably from me. Nick, dude, thanks for jumping on with us on a Sunday.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. All right. So I will speak for Mike. Mike is a guy who also did a recent edition of the Fantasy Fixer Up with me. Great dude. Super excited to have him in the league with us. And then let's go back to Australia. Campy, how are you and Stacy talking behind the scenes? I'm not going to remove you from the chat. I'm going to let you unmute yourself.
Yeah, look, it's I think like everyone else, I think I expected quarterbacks to go early, but probably not this early. So we're just trying to scramble around with our strategy at the moment, figure out what we're going to do next. So it's look, it's interesting. I think we all probably agree there's a bit of a drop off coming with quarterbacks very, very soon. So it's it's funny when I started doing Dynasty, I would go wide receiver early, and then I ended up with really good wide receivers, and then my expectation was you just draft running backs later. I've sort of moved away from that a bit to try and get more quarterbacks and maybe try to get a stud running back or two. But in this draft, I kind of feel like I think it's going to be really interesting to see this second round and see what people do, because I kind of feel like the wide receivers is now where I'm sort of more interested than, looking at someone like a Derrick Henry, for instance, who I'm not really looking at this early in Dynasty.
Well, I am excited to be in this league with you, roughing you and Stacy up a little bit. It's okay. Super appreciate your support, man. For those watching on YouTube or Twitter, he is rocking the DWZ hoodie and hat from Viridian Global. We appreciate your support, man.
No worries. It's pretty awesome to actually jump on and speak to everyone.
Man, we're excited to have you. All right, man, we'll catch you around. All right, and since Thomas is here in spirit, I'm gonna go to his co-owner, Phil Harbor. I'm the worst with names. Hey, you guys hear me speak every week. This is not a bit. How are you and Thomas feeling about what you've seen and what you think will come back to you in the next 6 picks?
Well, the train at the start, we expected that. We have probably a more than a reasonable target for our second round. And when I chose the 7, it was all about the reversal, getting that slightly earlier pick in that third round to go with the second. So we're pretty content and pretty happy with how everything's going at the moment.
Well, man, I really appreciate you jumping on. You guys in Australia, what time is it in your part of the world? Like literally?
It is currently 10 to 12.
All right, so almost lunchtime.
Almost lunchtime.
Midnight. Okay, so okay.
No, not midnight, you boob.
I'm having a hell of a time. I've never produced a live show with this many people.
Listen, first you think my man's from Iceland. Listen,
that was Stefan. It was an honest mistake.
He does look like he should have an axe and he should be killing a Carolingian soldier.
The bait.
Yeah.
See, Jerry, you're working up my excuse for me. He does look very Icelandic. He does look very, very tough. And I'm excited to hang out with these Australians. Jerry, I might even take you.
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time. You're gonna have to get me out of a Melbourne prison before it's all said and done.
Phil Haber, how is the penal system, the legal system there in Australia?
How's
Jerry going to do?
They're not going to let you go. So it's probably the easiest way to stay here.
Well, Jerry would be traded for a pack of cigarettes and maybe like a Snickers bar, but I think they're overpaying.
What you've got to realize, it's currently winter and it's 22 degrees Celsius. So I'm sitting here in shirt and shorts.
Whoa, hold on. Let me Google what the hell 22 degrees Celsius means. You got to remember,
it's like 70 degrees.
71. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
I haven't got the metric system down. But
this is a winter's day. You don't want to go to Melbourne. It's too cold. Campy was wearing the jumper still. Miles have come up. Sunshine State. Brisbane's where it's at.
Okay, so can we just point out that this man said it's 22 degrees Celsius, 71 degrees Fahrenheit. It is summer in Michigan where I'm at today. It was 65 degrees, so like 20 degrees Celsius. It is actually warmer where Phil Aber is at in winter than effing Michigan is in the summer. This is horseshit. I blame my parents for birthing me in a horrible section of the planet.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for jumping on all the way from Australia. Go enjoy some lunch, brother.
All right, thanks, guys. Good hanging out.
Take care. All right, going to go back to David. Now, David, you got Mr. McCaffrey. Without giving away too much of your strategy, do you have like a positional player, someone you're looking at between now and 5 picks away?
Yeah, I mean it's probably safe to say I'm looking QB here, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling a little shaky about it, but we've got CMC. We'll figure it out.
Hey, man, you got the guy who scored like the most points in a single season in the last like 4 or 5 years. I think you're doing okay. Well, man, listen, super excited. I know you're a newer patron. I'm glad you jumped in 12 with us, and man, I'm really excited to do some Dynasty with you.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Looking forward to the
All right,
season.
man, have a great one.
Yep.
All right, back to Bob. Now, I know Ace is Bob and Bob is Ace. I've got this thing in my head. 3 letters in Ace, 3 letters in Bob, so Bob is Ace. Bob, what you got, man?
I apologize about the ace, but that's my old video gaming name. Like
hey,
back
well,
when I was a kid. So
Hey, first of all, everybody still has a video game handle. I have one
yeah,
because my son used my old DWZ Memphis handle to create his Xbox handle. So I'm out there somewhere. So maybe
Nice.
I'm playing Fortnite or Minecraft.
yeah.
I got
I
nothing.
tried to play Fortnite, but my kids are way better than me.
That's why I quit playing video games. He's better at all the video games than me.
Exactly. Yeah, but as far as this draft goes, you know, like I knew it was a Patreon league, so I knew quarterbacks would go quick. But I was secretly sort of hoping that 2 running backs would go before my pick. That would leave me Trevor Lawrence. You know, I was willing to take that risk that you guys were kind of talking about earlier with him. And, you know, I'm a patient dynasty player overall. So it's just kind of my strategy. My friends all kind of make fun of me. You know, I'm the guy that I don't mind taking 3 to 4 years to build my roster. And I pretty much will probably take that plan into this one as well. I've messed around with, you know, I've had a lot of these late picks, and I've messed around with a lot with running back, and all the different stuff. But so I'm just trying to, you know, maybe doing a little something different here, and, you know, maybe trying to be a little different than all the Patreon people, and just see if my what your yanging can be my, you know, do something different.
Hey man, you that's Patreon 101. Sometimes you got to zig where everybody else is zagging. If everybody else is going in one way, you got to find the value in somewhere else. Well, man, I love the Justin Jefferson picks. I love the chutzpah it took to make that pick, and we'll look forward to seeing you in this chat, and we'll make some things happen.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having us on here. This has been great. So.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're just trying to create new and fun experiences for you patrons. And like I said, we're going to do this at least the first round of every draft we do going forward. It's a great way to put faces to names and hang out and have fun and talk to one another. So we'll catch you around, buddy.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yep. Now, we do have the Jonathan Taylor pick by Daniel, who sniped Ravi, and then the Russell Wilson pick. Don't love it, don't hate it. I'm more anti-Russ than pro-Russ, but I'm more like neutral. I'm Switzerland on Russ. But Ravi, man, what's up? Have you and the good Randy made a deal?
So we weren't able to work something out. I think we're a little bit apart in pricing and valuations. I'm trying to get as much as I can out of it, and I understand that when we're drafting with a bunch of sharks like we are in this league, you know, everybody is very sharp. They know their player valuations. I wasn't able to work something out. But the good thing is, you know, I have several players that I'm very enamored with that I've been kind of toying, you know, what would be the best case scenario depending on what type of build that I'm going for. But regardless if I want to compete this year or to have a kind of a slow future build, which is like how I like to do my dynasty builds, I think the 2 guys that I'm going to take here make sense for either of those roster construction builds.
Oh, I give me 1 second. You know, I have not used the soundboard once tonight, and I'm going to get my money's worth. So give me 1 second.
All right. So the first pick that I think I'm doing is, you know, with all the quarterbacks going, that did have me very nervous. And given that I'm at the turn now, you kind of have to take what you can when you can. That's kind of my mentality when I'm at the turn. And looking at the quarterbacks left on the board at this time, there's a lot of great talent here. A lot of great talent at quarterback. You know, I was very much debating Trey Lance. I know that would be on paper probably a reach, but I think keeping all things in mind that I want to build a strong team for the future, and also to take a guy who's shown it and who I don't have a lot of questions marks about. That's kind of a little bit of a shot, you could say, at Jalen Hurts, who I do believe can have a fantastic year, but the future is shrouded in mystery. Deshaun Watson, one of my personal favorite quarterbacks. Obviously, the things that are happening to him off the field are very disappointing, but that has not gotten settled at this point. So to mitigate the risk I have at this time and to set me up for not just to compete now, but to compete in the future, I think Joe Burrow makes a lot of sense for me at quarterback. I have never owned him in a league, and I actually missed out on him by one pick in one of my other leagues, when he was first coming out. So that is going to be who I will push the button on at quarterback here for this pick. And of course, with the back-to-back, I also want to set myself up at another position, and that being running back. So taking a look at the board here, Dalvin Cook is first on the slate. He's reaching pretty much near the age cliff, and that gives me a lot of qualms about building a team that's going to compete for years to come. Saquon Barclay is not fully recovered from this injury, and frankly, I have a lot of trepidations about what his future looks like. So I don't know. I mean, he definitely would be a good pick here, but a running back that I am pretty high on, and I think, Memphis, you may co-sign on this one as well, but I'm thinking about pushing the button on Cam Akers here. And I know that seems pretty crazy, but I think he's got a sky-high ceiling. I think he can definitely be a good cornerstone piece for the team that I'm looking to build, which is not just now, but in the future as well. So I think that would be my pick here. And just kind of glancing at the wide receivers that we have here on the board, just to make sure I do my due diligence and look at them. Being a Chiefs fan, it's no secret that, I love Tyreek Hill. I think I'm going to go running back here because stud running backs are so hard to find. And frankly speaking, wide receiver is a very deep position here. So that is kind of my train of thought here. I hope I kind of hit the key points that you were hoping I would articulate. And I will push the button on Cam Akers for my second share. And I'm very excited to have had one share of Joe Burrow.
Well, man, thank you for jumping on with us. Yeah, you articulated it very well. I think everyone speaks better than me, but you did a great job of illustrating some great points. And I'm a Joe Burrow guy as well. Now, Cam Akers, he's my 5 in a startup, but get your guy. I know people look at me like I have a third eye or a turd on my forehead, but Cam Akers' ceiling is Todd Gurley's mega year of 2018, whatever that huge, that is in the realm of possibilities. Is it a super high percentage? No, but he is someone that I love. Well, look, Robbie, I love you to death. You've been on with me before. We'll catch you in the group chat, and I'm gonna jump back to my man Randy. Robbie, man, take care down there in Florida.
Take care, y'all.
See ya. All right, I'm going to go back. We started with a Randy. We're going to end with a Randy. Now, Randy, you were making a move. You don't have to tell us who you were making a move for.
Well, I don't mind.
Oh, go
because he took my guy. I wanted Cam Akers, and I didn't think he was going to make it to 211. I'm all in on Cam this year. I've got him in another league, and I just think the situation with Stafford going there is going to be wheels up for the offense. I don't think Henderson's going to be, biting into his share much. But to pull back the curtain a little bit with Raheem, he was asking for a 23 first rounder. I offered a 2022 second rounder. I think the difference between the two was a little too far. We couldn't really find middle ground, so we both decided to stick with the status quo.
I might
Well,
have
man,
ruined that a
listen,
little bit for
I'm
you because that's what I said I would have flipped. So
What was that?
well.
if I was in his
Go ahead,
spot,
Jerry.
I said it earlier that if I was in his spot, I would try and trade back to about your pick for a first round pick. So I might have screwed that up for you. I don't like to do that to a fellow Lions fan, and I apologize.
If he had said 2022 first, I might have considered it more. But 2023, to me, those firsts are worth more than the 22 first, even though they're further away. I just think that class is going to be so loaded with stud running backs that it's just those are going to be hard to come the closer we get.
Well, I love the fact that you're looking down the road and you are. I don't know. I like the strategy, and that's part of the danger, right? That's part of the danger of jumping into a league like this where you're openly in public talking about the players that you desire, players that you like. It makes it very tough. Well, Randy, thank you so much for jumping on with us, and thank you so much for jumping to the dark side to do the 5-star. Awesome, man. Well, thank you. All right, man. Take care. Well, there it is, Jerry. Our first ever live, not a mock draft, but a real startup draft with real people that we hang out with all the time.
Let me just say something real quick, if you don't mind if I grab the mic for a second.
Run, Seabiscuit, run.
I can't run very fast. You get to talk to a lot of these guys. You are the bread, the butter, the brains of the whole operation. You are the man, the myth, the legend that runs this thing. So you get the opportunity to do a lot of stuff. This was the first time I really got to talk to a lot of these guys. Like I talk in the chat a whole bunch, but it's a different world when you can look a person in the face. Like I listened to you on this podcast before I was the co-host for a long time. No idea what this man looked like. He could have looked like a gargoyle for all I knew. I get on. He's a handsome
not far
sumbitch. Handsome sumbitch. Don't cut yourself short. Handsome sumbitch with an Under Armour hat on. It's good to talk to these guys. And Campy's been my man for a long time. Finally got to talk to him. Rocking the Michigan State hat of all things. He adopted us, poor bastard. He's in for a horrible time with that because we do nothing but disappoint, just like the Lions do. It's just good because I listen to the Patreons that you've done with a couple of these guys. Just been kick-ass shows, but I haven't had the opportunity to sit talk to them. It's awesome. I would like to do this with everybody because you are all smart sons of guns, man. If there's going to be somebody that's a dope in this league, luckily I got you. You're like my little crutch. I got a rolled ankle.
Man.
And you're just going to be
no,
Jerry, we're not going to do that, little guy. Come on.
My absolute favorite.
I appreciate it. This was a good idea.
Well, the first time is not going to be the smoothest run. I am going to be typing up in the DWZ patron group chat of all 100 and whatever number of us there are in there.
Right.
Every first round of every draft we ever do going forward, rookie draft, mock draft. I don't know, mock drafts are hard, but every draft is going to be live just for this very reason. I had no idea what Bob looked like, or I've had the good opportunity to talk to some of these guys and do. I do them behind the scenes. I do them for the show with the Fantasy Fixer Upper. I chat with these folks all the time in the DMs. This is what it means to be a Dynasty Warzone patron. Helping each other, being honest, being transparent when you know it might cost you a little value somewhere down the road. It's really a group of people that, what was that drill in football where everybody gets murdered? I don't remember. If you make it through that. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I don't know. It's it's kind of like running through that. I don't know. It's like an obstacle course of doom. But man, hey, thanks for sticking around to the end with me. As always, as Jerry knows when I do these shows, he sticks around with me to the very end. But yeah, great group of people, and we'll do this again real soon.
And listen, super hell of a good time. Diddy took George Kittle, so now we gotta watch.
Diddy took George Kittle. There you go. Well, we're going to jump off. We'll be back here real soon. If you were watching live on YouTube instead of the podcast, you saw this on Sunday night or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, but you saw it before Friday. That's why you sign up and subscribe to the Dynasty Warzone YouTube channel. Jerry, but since this is Sunday, I can say it. I'll see you Tuesday night when we do this again live with the Dynasty Warzone.
Yes, sir. Always good time.
All right, man. Love you guys. Talk to you later.